Welcome to the monthly blooms video. This month I'm making two separate episodes, one for standards and another one for minis. So in this episode I'll show you mostly standards and a Streptocarpus that are blooming this month. The Streptocarpus is called Bristols Nightfall. It was hybridized by Ralph Robinson. He is also famous for Rob's varieties of African violets. This Streptocarpus right now is at the peak of its blooming cycle, and it blooms with very dark blue blooms with yellow throat and some black colored pattern inside of the yellow throat. The colors are striking on this variety, and it's a good bloomer too. Here is Hunter's Slippery When Wet by Ken Mozoleski. It's a 2019 release. It's one of my few Hunter's varieties, and all of them are very beautiful. This plant needed to be repotted, but I was moving, so I didn't have time to repot. So it does bloom profusely, but the foliage shows that it is lacking nutrition, so I will need to be repotting it soon. The blooms are beautiful. They are white and pink and have green frilled edge on them, and not all of them are open, so it's gonna bloom for a while. Here is Candy Fountain by Irene Fredette. It is by description a standard trailer variety, but it grows on a smaller side, on a smaller scale. If you compare it with another standard trailer by the same hybridizer, Irene Fredette, called Glitter Fountain, you can see that the size is quite different, even though this is just a younger starter plant in its first blooming cycle, and this one is an adult plant with multiple crowns. I wanted to show them side by side so you can see the difference in the color of blooms and in the foliage variegation. Candy Fountain has cream and almost golden color on variegation, and Glitter Fountain has very beautiful pink and beige variegation in my growing conditions. And the blooms are different as well. Candy Fountain has very bright candy pink blooms, and Glitter Fountain has lighter pink blooms, but they have dark pink glitter-like edge around the petals. And here is our good old friend from the Bringing a New African Violet Plant Home video. She's out of the quarantine and she's recovering beautifully. And this is the first blooming cycle after the quarantine. It blooms with very, very dark purple blooms and very pronounced, very frilled green edge around the petals. And I also like the leaves. They are wavy, serrated, and very dark green. Next to it is another standard variety. It's called Peppermint Marshmallow by Lampier and Linden Lion greenhouses. It has beautiful pink variegation on leaves and very interesting pattern on the blooms with white and pink patches on the bottom 3 petals. And the blooms truly look like marshmallows. Behind it is a semi-miniature trailer by Fatina Bouquet called Lituanilka. And in my growing conditions, it grows like a standard variety. Here you can compare it next to a standard trailer variety on the right called Liligardner by Harris. So size-wise, Lituanilka is even larger growing variety than a standard trailer Liligardner, and they're about the same age. I love Lituanilka because it has very beautiful blooms that are cascading down, and they're very full, and they have unique petal work and beautiful pink, lighter pink blooms with dark pink edge of the petals. And I like Liligardner trailer because it has beautiful variegation on leaves, and it has very intense bright pink double blooms that look like little roses, and it has many more flower buds coming up, so it should be blooming nicely very soon. This is a standard variety called Ancient Lace by J. Monk. It has beautiful serrated wavy dark green foliage, and the blooms are pink with green frilled edge, and the blooms are much larger. This is the second blooming cycle now, and it is a prolific bloomer. It's just starting the new blooming cycle. Next to it is Whisper Blue. This is a 1984 hybrid by Sydney Serrano. It has beautiful pink variegation, and the blooms are medium blue, double blooms. This is a flying baby in my collection. It flew off the shelf, and I was so afraid that it's gonna not survive the fall, but I think it's bouncing back. Behind it is a 1982 hybrid by Barbara Elkin called Canadian Sunset. This is a baby plant that just has a few blooms, and I kept them because I wanted to see if it blooms true. This one had less white, so I was wondering if it's not blooming true to the description, but this is the second bloom and it's blooming true. It has very bright fuchsia color inside and white frilled edge around the petals. Here is Cajun's Fascinating Fury by Belinda Thibodeau. Still blooming without much fantasy, if at all, and it has beautiful variegated leaves with a pink and white edge variegation. It's called Tommy Lou variegation, by the name of the hybridizer who first produced it. And the blooms are very dark purple, very vivid, very deep color. And last but not least is a favorite of many called Rose Bouquet with mosaic variegation by G.T. Smith. It has pink rose-shaped blooms, and the mosaic variegation is white and green. So these are all of my African violet standards and standard trailers and a Streptocarpus and one semi-miniature trailer that are blooming right now. And in the next episode, I will show you the miniature and semi-miniature varieties that are in bloom. Stay tuned.